Good. Super.
So once again, very warm welcome, Dr. Al Awadhi, for agreeing to do the first Pinaka Live. So those who are watching us, ladies and gentlemen, I am absolutely privileged and excited to welcome Dr. Jassim Al Awadhi, an artificial intelligence researcher and a renowned implementation expert for digital transformation and related technologies here in the Middle East. It is an absolute privilege to have you on our webinar today, sir. Thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you, Mohit, for this introduction, and it's a pleasure to be here with you in this webinar. And thank you for this opportunity to be with you. And,
I was absolutely excited meeting you just a few days ago, and the kind of conversation we had. This was encouraging. So, yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. But it's cutting off a bit.
So, yeah, there was a kind of some static.
Yeah.
So it is surprising.
Good.
But just setting the context for the session. So in Pinaka Live, Dr. Al Awadhi, we are focusing on identifying the impact artificial intelligence as a technology has across industries. So right from what the usage we see day to day to the potential impact that it can have. Because one of the biggest problems today, especially when it concerns to the adoption of artificial intelligence, it is lack of awareness and lack of context around the power that this technology lever carries. And this is one area which is not allowing the technology to be embraced or the experimentation to happen as well. This is one area where it is getting difficult. So even if the benefit is available, people are not able to take the benefit of it. And if there are some risks which are possible, there is an equal amount of lack of awareness for those risks as well. So we'll open up the forum. So what impacts do you see across industries, and which are the specific industries where you see going to be a huge impact? So currently, what are you seeing right now? What are your views around it? How it should be approached? We will start with that. Over to you.
Good. Thank you, Mohit, for this opportunity once again. With regard to artificial intelligence, be it it's a predictive type of artificial intelligence or the new generative tool and system of artificial intelligence, adoption as a nature will take time. This as per the Rogers graph of product diffusion. Anything will take time. For at the beginning, it will innovators will go and try such a product regardless of its harmfulness. But again, people will start to see the benefit out of it through time. It's like once we had the internet. Yesterday, I was reading an article that was posted 20 years back. People they were talking about the internet.
Yeah.
Okay, and how harm the internet is, and it is something that it won't impact our life, and it will, or it's something that it will come and bypass very quickly. But now today we are in the middle of it.
Yes.
Okay, and it is the fundamental and the crucial media in using today's cognitive technologies, be it artificial intelligence, be it cloud, navigating information, talking to you now through Teams. It's all about the internet, and it's all about the power of internet. And it takes time to feel the beauty of it, feel the positive side of it, and how to digest it. If you remember the early days, when in 1995, when the internet, for example, introduced, it was only assigned to the big managers within the organizations. They were given an isolated PC to use the internet and navigate.
Today, with a modem that was connected to phone and used to make sound.
Exactly. Okay, but today it's a crucial mean.
Yeah.
Okay, and I feel the same with the artificial intelligence.
And
Artificial
you know,
intelligence,
this
yeah,
is such a crucial point that right now it is looking like all shiny disco balls from a distance, but this
exactly.
will become very normalized, very industrialized, very much table stakes, very common. I remember those early days, how
Yeah,
expensive it was, and I have stayed in hotels who used to charge like a $20-$25 for the 24-hour internet.
yes,
And if I tell anybody, if I tell my son, okay, the internet used to be, we used to pay for internet even while using in hotel, they will not believe it. I think this is the transition to be a very common consumable service that internet took, and that is the same way AI will be taking it up,
exactly.
that we see happening.
Yeah,
However, I do see that there is a lot of AI, there is a lot of lack of clarity also around AI as to what is AI and what is not AI. So the
yeah,
other day you picked up a very classic example around expert systems. Many industries are using expert systems and they are labeling it as AI,
exactly,
which is very weird.
exactly.
So why don't we touch upon that?
Okay, for example, now the expert system, which is one type of it, the RPA. RPA, it's a tool that it's programmed with an if then language, for example.
Yeah,
Okay, it's programmed to do a specific action based on a specific scenario. In academia, when you go through different articles in digital transformation and even in AI implementation and in adoption or generally in cognitive technology articles, earlier authors, they were considered expert system as an part of AI. And I feel that's why a lot of organizations still they are stuck in their mind that expert system is still it's part of AI tool and system. But today, even authors they are segregating expert system,
it's
okay,
not AI.
aside from the predictive and the generative AI,
Yes.
or if we call it that, the narrow general intelligence and narrow artificial intelligence and the general artificial intelligence and the super artificial intelligence. So it is things moving by time, and while we are moving, things start to change.
Yes.
Even the artificial intelligence, since the beginning when it's the definition of artificial intelligence was announced by John McCarthy in 1956,
Yes.
a lot of authors within the same conference, they were in conflict of the definition of artificial intelligence. And
Yeah.
as a researcher in AI, I feel that they are correct, because our artificial intelligence tool and systems, while it is evolving, you can give it a new definition.
This is such a critical and interesting point because we do not have a common, consistent definition of artificial intelligence yet. It is like everybody understands it differently. So, something that was defined with John McCarthy has been
Yeah,
taken on face value across academia and some
right.
circles. And that has been projected by companies to say, okay, John McCarthy says it, this is artificial intelligence.
And not this
It's
one. Yeah,
Yes, not this
yes,
one. So
exactly.
I see some industries have like a larger impact than others compared to see it. And I'm not even talking about what the kind of generative AI wonders Sora and these kind of products are doing. But I do see there is a lot of impact across media as an industry, as a segment.
Exactly.
And it's not just about the kind of stuff that you see, some kind of a special CGI or an artist who has passed his voice, his or her voice is being used, or even for that matter there are, this has been continuing because earlier what used to happen, and I've seen some musicians talking about it, they used to use sound components, digital sound components into their tracks, and it only ended up making the actual acoustic sound more valuable. But I think media is one industry where you have some close affiliations. You have been speaking about a lot of the events about media and the impact of AI on media. So
Right.
would love to know as to what do you think, where it is headed, what we are seeing, and what we will see next.
See, in the media, if we touch base in the TV channels, for example,
Yeah,
who's looking at TV today? Barely few.
barely few.
Okay, we
Unless
are
it is in a
more,
cafeteria where people are eating and something is running like a
or
news feed.
or after office hours, you are laying in the salon at home and you are open at TV.
Yeah,
Okay, the dependency more into the digital devices.
yeah.
It's your iPad, your iPhone, or your smart devices. Okay, and it's all depend on the different media applications, and even TV channels and radio channels. They are now converted, or they launch their own smart applications. For example, now ESPN as a channel in United States, what they did, they saw that the views on their channels are a bit decreasing. Okay, and for an sport interest, people who are interested in sports, there's a big portion, and how to grab their attention. And especially today, people with the evolving rush hours and industry, they don't have even a time or to spare a time to watch a TV or to read an article or to um, uh, have or navigate to different social media channels. So what they did, they invented an artificial intelligence tool, okay, based
Mm.
on in sports. For
Okay.
example, NBA as a basketball, and it's very familiar or famous in the United States. So what
Yes.
they did, based on clubs or based on a specific player, that AI tool will gather all the articles, all the media, all the videos, and different channels in the internet, try to take it, analyze it, make it as a summary, and make it ready, pushed to the interest with the people who are interested in that specific segment, and pass it to them not as an article to read, but as a voice.
Oh,
So while they are driving, they can listen. While they are working, they can listen. While they are in their lunch break, they can listen to. Okay, and it's summarizing all the different type of media, be it in article, general articles, video, and you can name it. Some gather it, analyze it, summarize it, and convert it to a narrative sound clip and push it to different people. For example, Netflix and Spotify.
yeah.
They are using artificial tool and system to push, to analyze the customer's behavior and push that and a specific theme of videos or movies to customers, or a music to customers. Very interesting. Holo, if you
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
what they did, they analyzed customer behaviors to push a specific or targeted ads to them. Okay, now if you are navigating into YouTube, every time and then you can see the same type of ad or the same type of advertisement. It's regardless if it's relevant to you or not. Okay, you are getting it. For example, in this week you get an advertisement on cars, for example. Tomorrow it's on powder milk. After
Yeah.
tomorrow it's on something else. But Holo, what they did, they are analyzing customer behavior, customer interest, and pushing and targeted ads to those customers. This will um, put more effectiveness to the ads and increase the ROI out of the ads as well.
This is a very good example of personalization.
Yes,
Indeed,
exactly.
I saw some very specific example regarding these streaming platforms like OTT platforms like Netflix and multiple others which exist. So there was this project that was there into the theoretical circle, the academic circles,
Yeah.
where a single series will have multiple endpoints. But what
Okay.
ending you see? Let's say there is a different climaxes for the same episode, but
Okay.
what ending you see will align with your personalized interests, what you
Okay.
want to see. And it was all driven by AI because they are looking at it, how much you are attending, how many times you are repeatedly watching, what kind of content you are watching,
Okay.
because
Okay.
streaming platform means you have full data. And that is a very critical question
Good.
because we are all talking about AI. What about data? Do you have the data to feed AI? Data
Yes.
is the fuel.
Exactly.
So if you don't have data, then it's not going to help you in very traditional AI sense. Second thing is, so as I was coming to this example, so it was such an interesting idea or a concept, but it is very much possible. So imagine you are watching Stranger Things season 1. So what happens into the last episode of season 1, the last 30 minutes will not be, there will be like multiple outcome endings, and the
Okay.
one that you like, you will be able to see
You will
that.
get it. Wow.
You will get it.
Wow. Wow.
So just see the heights of personalization which is possible, especially for media as a segment. And
They
we
are
see
going,
examples of that.
yeah, they are going into psychology of or the formula of each customers of each day.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow.
Personalization means that I understand
Yes.
you well. So
Exactly. Exactly.
I will not just give you targeted ads, but see, if I invest millions of dollars in making a kind of a 10 episode series, and ultimately I'm not able to merchandise it just because the outcome was very creative, but not to the liking of the
Yes.
audiences.
You're right. Exactly.
I'll not be
Right.
able to merchandise it. In order to merchandise it, I need the outcome and the interest for a second season
Right.
from the audience. And that's
Right.
what this game is about. It's about keeping your attention. But how do you see this changing up, let's say 3 to 5 years down the line? What do you see happening?
I can see more efficiency will come to in this sector. Movie creation will be much less expensive. The type of accuracy and personalization will be more for the customers,
Yeah.
and this will benefit customers at the same time will benefit producers as well. So they would know what to produce, how to produce, and how efficiently they can produce.
Yeah. It
Okay.
will become more made to order, just like a
Yes.
meal in a
Yeah.
restaurant.
And based on that, they can produce more and target more specialized category of customers. So
Yeah.
instead of I'm producing and one series of movie, for example, a year, I can, for example, produce four, targeting four group of people.
Yes.
Okay, and this will increase my revenue and this will increase my revenue as I will be having more subscribers and more personalized ads as well. If we are talking about deepfake, for example,
Yes.
but the good side of deepfake, Disney today they are using deepfake,
Yeah.
okay, and producing digitalized characters,
Yes.
okay, by using deepfake. Voice cloning. If you heard about this organization or the developer called 11 Lab,
Mm.
okay, 11 Lab, they launched a tool to clone people voice.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's used by a lot of enterprises, especially TV channels For example, there's one football player, what's his name? Tim Green. Okay, Tim Green. He's a football player and he has an podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but now this guy, he has a disease and his voice is affected. He
Okay.
can't produce anymore a podcast. But till now, people, they have an interest on Tim Green podcast. So what they did, they clone his voice. Okay, until today they are producing podcast under his voice.
Yes.
Okay, so this is one of the beauty of it. Polish TV, for example, they are cloning one of the journalists' voice and having a periodic news podcast on Ukraine Russian war. Okay, without having the person in the studio or sitting behind a device talking and collecting informations. Okay, to have an 1 hour, every 1 hour a podcast. Okay, publishing about a specific topic. Now the PC or the AI tool can do it for them.
Yes.
Okay, it's very cost effective, very efficient, and I believe even in future the ROI will be more efficient. But navigating at all these, till when you will keep cloning voices? For example, now I have a fan, or we have a group of people fan of Tim Green. He's a football player.
Yeah.
Football player for that generation on in the 70s or in the 80s. Okay, but now you have a new generation. Till when you will keep cloning voices and targeting efficiency, targeting more ROIs, okay, and neglecting the new football players or the new actors.
Yeah.
Okay, it is good for the time being, but I don't think we need to neglect the traditional type of media production as
I
well.
think it will only make the real performance more important because that's what ultimately the fakes start doing. They start making the real more valuable. What I see is this is like the multimedia, or as we call it, the movie media, moving media. This
Hmm.
is one area, but even areas like publishing. So there is a fake news is a kind of a serious problem, and it is impacting multiple impacts across industries and society, with the people voting in certain favor and not, without realizing what is real, what is unreal. There was a very interesting project which happened just in Abu Dhabi, in Mohammed bin Zayed University of Artificial Intelligence, around deepfake detection. Okay,
Hmm.
so
Okay.
there was one professor who got a patent, and it was within few seconds, because the news travels fast, especially in the first 72 hours.
Good.
Within few seconds, if you can determine whether it is real or it is unreal, that has got a phenomenal value, because people just
Hmm.
don't consume content in one mode. People consume content through the traditional medium as well, and it is a very large population that consumes content.
Right.
So even those areas are getting a significant impact. YouTube recently launched a Dream Lab. I think I'm pronouncing the name correctly.
Okay.
So Dream Lab is basically a project that they are doing it to be the TikTok competitor for the world, for
Hmm.
their YouTube shorts. So what it allows you to do, so let's say there are like 10 or 12 artists which have agreed to lend their voices or give the render of their voices.
Voices.
So I can practically create any song in the voice of Demi Lovato sitting here in my PC.
Good.
But Demi Lovato here has authorized, not like Scarlett
Ah,
Johansson, who
yeah.
felt offended when once her voice was used for OpenAI. And
Okay.
we have a lot of these AI tools which are creating these voice renders, which are basically, I can have Samuel L. Jackson do the voiceover for my video, or I can
Right.
have Morgan Freeman speak on something else.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
it's all happening. But I do see there has to be a balance between efficiency, costs, as well as the risks of privacy and explainability, because this can lead to a trend where I don't know my voice, it might be used somewhere else because it's getting recorded right now.
And you need to bring new actors as well.
Yes.
Okay, because you have a new generation and they need to love a new actor. Otherwise, the new generation will be a fan of a digital created or an AI created actor
That's
in the
that's
future.
definitely a very important point. Otherwise, any form will die out if it is just dominated by fakes. And secondly, with a lot of the stuff that is happening, so there is a lot of security related protocols which are getting introduced across financial institutions and multiple different places. Biometrics are being captured. So iris, if face can be replicated, obviously the iris can be
Yes,
replicated one day.
exactly.
My voice can be replicated if there is a kind of a voice command activated system I have. There are risks associated with this as well. It can create an exact replica. That is the biggest risk I see.
Exactly.
And and it will be very difficult for a machine to determine if it's a real one or it's a fake one.
Yeah. And even 11 lab, okay, if we are talking about the bad side of it, okay, some scammers, they cloned some of the some voices and they hacked what? Those people bank accounts through,
Ah.
yeah, through the contact
Giving
center.
giving a call to the call center and speaking
Yes,
into their
yes,
voices.
exactly. And
This
those
is
people,
yeah,
and those, yeah, and those call centers, they don't have that voice detection or
yeah.
something. Yeah, the system will recognize the voice and things will go through.
I think the opportunities exist onto the other side as well in order to make the systems
Exactly.
more secure. But coming to the conclusion of it, Dr. Alavadi, so how do you see next 3 to 5 years? What will happen? Because right now, what is happening, I'll tell you. In 1990, Steven Spielberg made Jurassic Park. A
Hmm.
fifth grade kid sitting in Dubai in front of his or her PC can make equal amount or even better special effects. What costed months and
Exactly.
years to Steven Spielberg in those days. So it has become so industrialized. So what do you see happening into the media 3 to 5 years from now? Where it
I
will go?
I can see with the power of such tools, and if it is available for even consumers, a talented people, they can produce their movies at home.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's require some investment. But at the end, I want to say that without a big investment like the old days in creating movies and how movies were very costly and time consuming, there will be an efficiency on time consumption, there will be an efficiency on cost required, but at the other side there will be an investment on such AI tool and system and on the accuracy side of it. Things will evolve very fast, but we need to make sure, as we spoke about the dark side of it, we need to have the capability as an detection to avoid those dark side from going so dark very quickly.
So I see from my standpoint, from where I do a lot of reading, a lot of research, I do all the time. I see three different dimensions to it. Obviously, recently we visited Jitex, and in Jitex we had an Indian movie director, very popular, very big name,
Mm.
Mr. Shekhar Kapoor. So he was there in one of the sessions around the impact of AI. And he mentioned that his competition is no longer with a fellow director. His competition is with a kid sitting with a PC somewhere, because they can
Exactly.
produce a story, they can
Super.
execute a story much better than I can with all the budget and all the effort and everything. So he said it is getting really industrialized. That's one dimension to look at it. Another dimension, obviously, the dark side is something to be managed for every technology capability. But another dimension that I see, there are some startups which have recently been funded as well, sufficiently funded, I would say,
Good.
which are doing what? So they will record the voice of the people who are not in the best of their health. They will
Mm.
record the persona and they will create a kind of a digital image, like a digital replica of that person's personality,
Okay.
which will stay forever. So even if this person's body dies away, I will be speaking to the AI replica of this person
Good.
for a very long time.
Yeah, digitally he will be available with his emotions, with his character, and with his formula and with his way of acting as well.
So this isn't something which is far away. Actually, they have active customers who have gotten with the terminally ill patients and those kind of scenarios. They
Hmm.
have gotten those digital personas created, which will live with those families forever. And even in terms of decision making as well, because they collect so much of data.
Data.
They
So yeah, okay, okay.
so that's one. And the third one I'd see is there will be premium that will be charged, and there is a business model. I mean, I never leave the
Hmm.
business side of the scheme of things. I'm sorry
Okay.
for that, but there is going to be a premium charged for the real news because it industrialized, it became
Hmm.
accessible, things became much more easier to access, multiple different models to receive information, to receive news. But which one is the right news or which one is the wrong news, nobody knows. So there will be platforms which will say only to see verified news come to us. We give the real news, others give you the fake news. So
And
that kind of a model will emerge as well, which will be a premium.
I think I think some of them they started already.
Yeah, I see
Some
that
some
happening.
some journals, yeah, some journals. I think they started forcing a subscription because they are trusted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are doing a verification is becoming going to become a commodity with the flooding of so much of fake news and fake information. A verified information will become a precious commodity. I
So
do
as a
see that.
consumer, you will not look for an information. You will be searching for the genuinity of the information, if it's real or
Indeed,
not. Yes.
indeed. As a consumer, the authenticity will draw a premium price.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Very interesting. So
Good.
this was an exciting and interesting conversation, Dr.
Thank
Alavadi.
you. Thank you. It was great.
Any parting words for us? Because this will get broadcasted, this will get shared across different platforms in
Good.
a recorded format. So any parting words, what we need to watch out for media and entertainment as a business?
Well, see, and the entertainment, as I said, it's very evolving today. AI tool and systems are advancing very fast. And I believe all the media organization need to look at such tool and system, try to use it, adopt it, go through with the development, and even if they can do a partnership with some academic institutions to be more in forefront and the development of artificial tool and system, and to bring a new innovative idea to take the market uh, uh, in the media industry.
So the most interesting aspect that baffles me, and I don't know what will happen. Like it happened that every media channel started becoming a kind of a fake news broadcaster. Now every single channel will start adopting these verification to and authentication tools. So everyone will
Yeah.
be selling the real news. What will happen after that? I can't even imagine. That's one. Second is, let's say I want to hire Tom Cruise for a movie. Tom Cruise is asking a lot of money.
Hmm.
Can I make the movie without Tom Cruise with a replica?
You can, but you need
That's
to get his permission. That will
that's the
come.
interesting part. So yeah, that's the interesting part. So if I cast a real Tom Cruise on the screen, people will be watching. Okay, bro, watch this real Tom Cruise on the
The
screen,
real one.
and instead of a fake one, which is the ticket is cheaper. So we are into crazy times ahead for sure.
But again, with the advancement of artificial tool and system, the accuracy you cannot catch the accuracy of the published materials.
Yeah,
The accuracy is really amazing that you cannot differentiate.
yeah, that's true.
Right.
This has been an incredible discussion with you, Dr.
Thank you
Alavadi.
so much.
I
Thank you,
cannot
Mohit.
thank you enough for allowing us to
Thank
speak
you.
with you in
It's
this
a
forum.
pleasure. It's a pleasure, sir.
Thank you so much and have a
Thank you.
wonderful day ahead. And we'll keep in touch for
Same
a
to you.
future engagement as well. Thank you so much.
Sure. Inshallah. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much.